Okay, we're here again at the March Air Force Base Museum, and what we're seeing here is a Pratt and Whitney Wasp Major engine, model R-4360-59B. This is not an engine that was used in the C-54 in the TC-48. This is an example that I'm showing in order to explain the way the engine is anchored to the aircraft. This engine is it's a huge one. It was used, I think we have paper here that tells us 28 cylinders, 4 rows, 7 banks. Takeoff power was 3,250 bhp. And it was used in several aircrafts actually, like B-36, XB-44, Douglas XTB-2D1, and also an F-2G, which was a coarser version that was used in air races. Anyway, what I want to show is the way this engine is attached. Let me see if I can zoom in. That's the ring that holds the engine, where the engine is anchored, and the structure is actually anchored to another structure, in this case by those, well, tiny bolts, if we have to compare with the size of the engine itself. There's one there, there's another one there. Let me see if I can focus on that. And then the structure goes all the way to the other side, which I will show right now. And we'll walk around. And it's the same concept. You can see the bolts holding the structure that supports the engine to a frame here, which in our case would be to the firewall of the engine in the C-54. That structure that we see there is not much different from the structure used on the C-54, which was also used on the TC-48. It's very similar, probably. I don't know the diameter of the tubes that were used in the TC-48, but very similar at the end. So, having said this, it can be seen that in a case of an uncontrolled fire, persistent uncontrolled fire, that structure can be seriously weakened, and that's one of the reasons why many engines just fall off the aircraft. No? So now we're going to go outside to see a Pratt and Whitney R2800, which, although not the same engine as the C-54, the TC-48, is a very similar one. So let's go there and I'll explain you more on this. Okay, and now we are here in front of a Pratt and Whitney R2800 double Wasp, part of the long-lived Wasp family of Pratt and Whitney. It was a 2-row 18-cylinder air-cooled radial design. Displacement was 2,804 cubic inches. So this is a very similar engine to the one that was used by the C-54s or by the TC-48. Although, like I say, not the same one. The C-54 uses the Pratt and Whitney R-2000, and particularly the 48, the TC-48, I think, used the -2000-13. Anyway, what I'm trying to show here is the anchoring points that this engine has. Let me move around it. Okay, now what we see here are the anchoring points of this Pratt and Whitney R2800. There's one here, there's one here, there's one there. The camera can follow me. There's another one there, and we come around, we're going to see the other ones. What we have here is the anchoring points here, 1, 2, 3, as opposed to the ones on the other side. This is the carburetor area, and these are the cylinders. This engine has 18 cylinders as opposed to the 14 cylinders that the R2000 has in the TC48. Anyway, as you can see, this is a very, very small bolt that holds in different points the engine to the aircraft structure. So if we're going to measure this a little bit, yeah, we would say that the bolt is probably about 3/4, and the whole bracket diameter is about 1.5 inches, less than 2 inches. Having said this, we're pretty much done with the R2800, and we're going to go now look on the C54 and see what we can learn from those engines there.